Welcome to Hello Port Hueneme. I'm your host Tom Tunn, and today I'm with Laura Hernandez. Welcome again.
Hello, Tom.
We are doing a city council review on the last two city councils, and the first one took place on February 21st of this year. And the first thing that was brought up at the council meeting was the Port Hueneme Pride presentation to Kevin Brannon. And Kevin is the founder of a group called Real Guppies. Mm-hmm. And what he does is he takes young children up to mid-teen and takes them out fishing on the pier at Lake Casitas, various places, and teaches them not only how to fish, but how to interact with people and get them away from the video screens.
Right.
That's a big portion of it.
Get them outdoors.
Get them outdoors, have them meet new people, and also what's really neat is their parents are involved. And he is somebody in Port Hueneme that shows the extra commitment to do things above and beyond. And that's what Port Hueneme Pride is. And at the end of the show, we'll have a where you can reach Kevin and get information from him.
Yeah.
So that was well deserved, and he's the second recipient of that. And so if anybody knows of any other people that really go above and beyond what the call of duty is and really helps the city of Port Hueneme, we'd love to hear about it.
Good job.
The next issue on the council meeting that evening was citizen John White came forward, and he's been there before, and he wanted to talk about the tennis courts at Moronga Park. They have pretty much disrepair, and he for years had a group of people that came one weekend a year from as far away as Las Vegas and plays.
Wow.
And they would stay in the hotels here for the weekend, and they play tennis a couple times there. And if I remember, I think he had to cancel it the last year or two because Miranda Park, the courts just are not suitable for really enjoying. And the last I heard is that the city is going to rehabilitate those courts.
Oh, great.
And we will have more information on our Citizens Forum with Rod Butler in a couple weeks. And we'll update it here also what the final solution is.
Very good.
Also, we had an honor to retiree Tama Figg, who was, who was an employee of the city of Port Hueneme in various positions since 1977.
That's a long time.
That puts her right up there at the top of some of the longest serving people in the city, and she ended up the last number of years being the code compliance officer, and that was a very demanding job, and I don't know who they're going to replace her with.
Well,
would you like the job?
Yeah, she's irreplaceable from what I know about Tama. Yeah,
well, it's a type of job where you get to know the ins and outs of things, and it's hard to teach it to somebody. It's an on-job learning experience, and everybody gave Tama a standing applause, and for 40 years of service to the city. So congratulations.
Congratulations, Tama. You'll be missed.
Absolutely. The next thing we had was the water department made a presentation about the drought situation. And while California, especially the northern part, got so much rain, what happened here in Ventura County? Well, Laura's holding up a map that was given to us, and if you can see, it is really dark red, burnt orange colors, and that's what the drought looked like last year, in January of last year. Really typified the whole state was having a drought problem. And if you turn it around, Laura, if you can see now, there's very little of that, except in one place, right here, Ventura County. So we need, from what the head of the water department said, was at least 2 to 3 years of rain like we just had to get back up to anywhere near the level of being full.
So we're still in the drought.
Absolutely, and the city of Port Hueneme is on code 2, and that means from November to April, you're supposed to water once a week, and from April to November, during the supposedly warmer months and stuff, you can water twice a week. And the last thing was that Tracy Session Phillips from the Chamber of Commerce announced that the dinner trucks are going to start April 11th.
Oh, great.
Down at the beach. Have you been to any of those
I
yet?
have. They're fun, and it's a nice time to be out for the evening and enjoy the beach and enjoy the food. It's a great social event.
Welcome back to Hello Port Hueneme. We're now going to cover the March 6th City Council meeting, and Laura and I, this was a different type meeting.
It's a long meeting, long night.
We went from 6:30 to 10:30, and a lot of information was covered, and so we want to capitalize it and give you the highlights, and we'll go into it in the Mayor's Corner and various other shows that we have, more detail, and explain to you how this is coming along. The first thing at the meeting, we had another Port Hueneme Pride presentation, and this one was given to Stephen Gama. And you know Stephen?
Yes, I do.
And
helped run his campaign.
That's where I first met you,
right.
Was with Stephen when he was cleaning up. We had a big beach cleanup day back in May last year or something, of cleaning up the Alaska Air Flight 261 Memorial. The winds and stuff had been really bad, and they hadn't been looking after, and he really took care of getting crews down there every Saturday and cleaning the memorial, the sundial, and it really stays nice. And he is down there about every Saturday morning.
Every Saturday at 9 o'clock.
At 9 o'clock. So come down and help out, and he did this all by himself. And that is what is really important. He said he notices that the beach is a lot cleaner now than it was, not just because of him, but because people have seen him do it, and so they're a little bit more concerned about picking up their trash and their cigarette butts and everything like that. So Stephen was given the Certificate of Merit for Port Hueneme Pride for, again, going beyond the call of duty as an individual and really contributing to the city of Port Hueneme's quality of life. So thank you very much, Stephen.
Well deserved.
The first issue that came up was a public works thing about fences that people have in their property.
Right.
And it goes back to an ordinance that said there has to be 5 feet between the sidewalk and a person's fence. Well, that was never really enforced, but somewhere a couple years ago, somebody took it upon themselves to, okay, we're going to enforce it. And people have not known what to do about it. And so one gentleman just he moved his fence back and then just let the weeds grow.
Right.
Well, there was an issue there. Whose responsibility is it, the city or his? It was more or less in limbo. So what happened was that finally it was brought to the city's attention that they need to do something, whether a new ordinance, a new policy, or whatever, because it's the city wanted this land. If they had to put in water meters or any other type meter, or if there happened to be a water main under the sidewalk that they needed to get to, they didn't want to tear up people's personal property or their lawn or whatever. So they wanted this 5-foot section. Well, what the mayor and the city council came up with was, let's just fix the ordinance to say that the fences can go back to the property line of the sidewalk, and that the owners of the land, of the home, will sign a waiver saying if the city has to come in and do something, that the homeowner is responsible for making repairs to any part of the property that the city would destroy, or not destroy, but would get dug up or a fence have to be cut into. And from what we can tell, this is a very rare occasion. And basically, most people would like to have their property line up to the sidewalk, and it makes the property look normal up and down the street. You don't have some fences.
Uniform. It makes it look more uniform when you look down the street, so you
Yeah.
don't have this jagged effect of some fences coming to the sidewalk and some being set back 5 feet.
And people know what they can or cannot do. So
Right.
I think there is just going to be a change in that real quickly, and we'll let you know when it permanently goes into effect.
There won't be a change in the ordinance. The mayor had recommended that, in fact, it not be a change in ordinance because that would be time consuming, but instead let's change the policy, which was the policy several years back, and now he wants to reinstate that policy so that they be allowed to do that in the future without having to go through the process of creating an update to the current ordinance.
I think it'll be a lot easier on both the city and the property owners.
Right.
Okay,
Good job.
the next part of the meeting, and this is what took so long, but it was time well spent. The mayor has proposed a strategic action plan, and he put this together with the help of other people in the city, ideas that had come to the city and him for the last couple of years. This was sorely needed,
Right.
in that nothing major had been done in 5 years to work on the loss of the money that the city was facing. And in this plan, it goes and talks about various aspects of the city that need to be worked on right away. So you're going to explain a little bit of this to our viewers, and we'll discuss it as we go.
Right, so one of the first things that had to happen was to determine whether or not there was money available to forward the initiatives that were outlined in the strategic plan. And once that was determined, where the funding sources would come from, then we could move forward and decide how much allocations would be devoted to each of the initiatives. And so the two sources of funding that we talked about were the Surplus Property Authority and the money that comes from the Harbor District, which was, let's see, what was that called? The Harbor District Community Enhancement Fund. So the council spent some time outlining how much money would come from those two funds and be directed toward the initiatives. The part that I was excited about was the establishment of the citizen component of this strategic plan and the standing up of a citizens group to address 3 areas. One would be beach enhancement, the other one would be economic development, and then the idea of just having a citizen advisory board. It was generally felt that those could be combined into one citizen advisory board for the purpose of addressing those areas of citizen involvement, economic development, and beach enhancements.
So that's how all the time was spent, 4 hours.
Well, we had one more, though. We had one more important issue that I think that our viewers would be interested in, and that's the allocation of funds for the bathrooms, the beach bathrooms, the maintenance of those bathrooms. There was that, I believe, was decided that there would be funds allocated for proper maintenance of the bathrooms, and then there was another pot of money allocated for long-range upgrading of the beach bathrooms. So our viewers and our residents here in Port Hueneme should be very happy to see that happening, because that's been on the agenda for a while now.
Mom and their kids in the bathroom, very, very important. And the beach is our, greatest asset, and it needs to be something that we're all real proud of.
And the timing's right, so when the food trucks come out for the sunset dinner, we'll have hopefully clean bathrooms.
Also, finally, the dredging is done. The promenade is open again, so with this great weather that we're having, it's a nice time to renew your walk out to the lighthouse and enjoy the scenery, and the sunsets have been especially fabulous with this warmer weather.
Right.
Thank you, Laura, very much.
All right, thank you, Tom.
And we will see you guys in another 2 weeks and do another City Council review. Thank you for watching.
See you next time.